Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. We have discussed in the first chapter about the diversity. Uh, what is the meaning of diversity, and what are the reasons for diversity? And all these were discussed. Now we are going to start a new chapter, that is diversity and discrimination. This chapter is about the effect of diversity. Though we have seen that diversity enriches our life in many ways, still what we find in practice, that because of diversity, people are treated in a discriminated manner. And all this will be discussed under this chapter. So, we will start with the text, difference and prejudice. Okay, there are many things that make us what we are: how we live, the language we speak, what we eat, where, the games we play, and the things we celebrate. All of these are influenced both by the geography and history of the place where we live. So, what are we? We are what, how we live. We are the language we speak. We are what we eat. We are what we wear, what we games. All these things are about us. How do we do all these things? What do we do? All these make us. Okay. And the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the games we play, the festivals we celebrate, all these things are influenced by geography and history of the place where we live. Uh, in the previous chapter also, I told you that any anybody's life is determined by the place where he or she used to live. And why that place is very much important? Because of geographical and historical factors. The geography and history of a particular place make it different, and that is the reason people who live at those places also becomes according to the that place only. So we are what we do in our day to day life, and that is influenced by geography and history. You will get an idea of how diverse India is if you look even briefly at the following statement. India is a diverse country. We all know this. We have discussed about this in the previous chapter also. Now, you are given some data regarding this. There are 8 major religions in the world. Every single one of them is practiced in India. India is a country where people belonging to different religions live, and what we know that there are major 8 religion in the world, and all these religions are practiced by people who live in India. So there is a religious diversity in India. It's not that people belonging to only one religion is living in India, but actually people belonging to 8 religions are living in India. Then we see we have more than 1600 languages that are people's mother tongues, and there are more than 100 dance forms. So other than this, what we find that we have 1600 languages. People speak 1600 different languages as their mother tongue. And not only this, we have more than 100 types of dance forms are also existing in India. So these are the uh, these facts indicate the diversity that exists in India. Yet this diversity Yet this diversity is not always celebrated. This is because we feel safe and secure with people who look, talk, dress, and think like us. So, what is the thinking of the people? It is usually we think in that direction that we feel more secure, we feel more safe if we are with people who are like us, who look like us, who talk like us, who dress like us, who think like us. If we come across any person who is whose physical appearance is not like us, who is different from us in looks, who talks differently, who dresses differently, then what we start thinking that we start feeling a type of unsafe in his or her company. So we like to live with people who are like us, and in this because of this mentality, because of this thought, what happens that people start behaving in a wrong manner with those people who are not like them. Okay. Now, I am reading this text. Sometimes, when we meet people who are very different from us, we may find them strange and unfamiliar. At times, we may not understand or know the reason why they are different from us. People also from certain attitudes and opinion about others who are not like them. So this is the general mentality of the people, that if we meet people who are different from us, what we start we start thinking that they are different from us. We don't want to understand or know the reason why they are different from us. We just know this much, that they are different from us, and so we form a type of attitude towards them, that such people are like that only. People belonging to a particular reason, for example, I am telling you an example, that it becomes how it we form a certain type of opinion regarding some people. For example, we can say we can it can be in our mind that people belonging to a particular reason used to be like that. So this is what is this? We are not knowing anything about that reason. We are not knowing any history or geography of that reason, from which the person is belonging. We have just made our opinion that people belonging to that reason used to be like that only. So this is our opinion, which is not based on any kind of information or knowledge. We have just we have just started thinking in that direction because other people are also thinking in that way. So this is what is this? This is called prejudice. When we make our opinion regarding someone, uh, and we don't consider any information or knowledge, we just make our mind. Okay. Now you have seen this box. Okay, look at the statement below that you believe to be true about rural and urban life in India. Take mark those that you agree with. In this, it's an activity in which some statements are there about rural life and urban life. Okay, Now you have to tick mark those which you think that it is right. Okay, it is correct. Now, do you have a prejudice against rural or urban people? Find out if this is shared by others and discuss the reason why people have these prejudices. So, now we are going to know about prejudice, which I told you just now. So, when we made our mind, we form a particular type of thinking about people without considering any fact, without considering any information. We just start thinking about people, start judging about people in negative way. That is called prejudice. So now this is the activity regarding rural and urban people. Okay, now you can read this statement. More than 50% of all Indians live in village. Is it true or false? You have to take it. People in villages do not like to use modern technology. In peak harvesting and plantation season, families spend 12 to 14 hours working in the fields. Villagers are forced to migrate to cities in search of work. So, in this, what we find that more than 50% of all Indians live in village. This is true. Okay, then people in villages do not like to use modern technology. It's not like that. People want to use modern technology, but what is the problem? We can say that this is correct. Yes, people in village do not like to use modern technology, but actually it is not correct. It's not like that people don't like to use modern technology. What happens that they are not getting modern technology. That's why they have a type of and they are not getting modern technology, so they are not using that. If they will be able to get the modern technology, then they will like to use it, but they are not getting it. That's why we think that they don't like it. Just this is a prejudice, okay, against rural people. Then the third statement is in peak harvesting and plantation. This is true because families spend 12 to 14 hours working in the fields. Villages are forced to migrate to cities in search of work. This is also true. Okay. So, why we think in this way that villagers are forced to migrate to cities in search of work? Because there is lack of job opportunities in the villages. This is the you have to see what is the reason behind it. Why villagers are forced to migrate to cities? Because there is lack of job opportunities. Okay. Then on urban people, it is written life in the city is easy. People are spoiled and lazy. People are here are spoiled and lazy. So it is the general thinking of the people who live in village that life in the city is easy. But it is not the fact. We all are knowing this that life is very much tough in city. Then people are spoiled and lazy. And usually in village people think like that. This is also a prejudice regarding the urban people. In cities, families spend very little time with each other. This is also a type of prejudice. People in cities only care about money, not about people. All these are prejudices. So these are the prejudices. Some of these statements are some of these statements see villagers as ignorant and see people in cities as money minded and lazy. When our opinion about certain people are always negative, them as lazy, stingy, as some of these statements, then these become prejudice that we carry about them. So when we think about some people or some group of people in a negative manner without any basis, without any information, we have just made our mind that such people are like that only. That is prejudice. It is to judge other people negatively. Prejudice means to judge other people negatively or see them as inferior. This is prejudice. We start thinking that a particular person or a group of people are inferior because they belong to that religion or they belong to that linguistic community or they belong to a particular reason. So these are the thoughts which compel us to judge other people negatively. Okay, so this is prejudice. This should be underlined in your book. What is prejudice? Prejudice means to judge other people negatively or see them as inferior. When we think that only one particular way is the best and right way to do things, we often end up not respecting others who may prefer to do things differently. For example, if we think English is the best language and other languages are not important, we are judging these other languages negatively. As a result, we might not respect people who speak languages other than English. So, what happens? How this prejudice comes in our mind? How we start thinking negatively about others? It starts with this thinking that we think that there is only one particular way of doing things, and that particular way, what is that particular way? Which is adopted by us. The way I do something, that is the only way to do that thing, and that is the best. Other than that, whatever other way, there are many other ways to do that work also, but other other methods are not best. Only the method which is only the way which is adopted by me or by my group, that is the best. Okay, so when we think this causes prejudice because we start thinking that the way we are doing something, that is the correct way, and the way others are doing it, that is not the correct way, and we started disrespecting others. Because of this thinking, we started disrespect them, and this causes prejudice. There is an example uh, of language. We many times it is considered that English is the best language, and other languages are not important. There is only one best language, and that is English. And people who are speaking other languages are less important. We are less respectful. We consider that English is the only best language. So in this way, we start judging other languages negatively. When people who does not speak English, we start disrespecting those people because, in my opinion, in our opinion, English is the best language. Okay, so this is what is this? This is a prejudice that English is the best language. It is, and because this is a thinking, because of this thinking, we have started prejudicing against those people who are not speaking English. Okay. We can be prejudiced about many things: people's religious beliefs, the color of their skin, the reason they come from, the accent they speak in, the clothes they wear, etc. Often our prejudices about others are so strong that we don't want to form friendship with them. At times we may even act in ways that hurt them. So the basis of prejudices can be many. One of the basis of the prejudice is language, which we discussed just now. Other than language, there may be many basis of prejudice, many reasons of forming the prejudices. These are the religion of the people, the color of their skin, the reason from they come from, the accent they speak in. Accent, what do you mean by accent? In same language can be spoken in different accent belongs to accent is caused because of the reason where we live. Okay, so the clothes they wear, these are the main basis of prejudices, and because of these reasons we start thinking negatively. And what happens in your school, there may be many of your classmates who may belong to different religion, whose color of skin may be different from you, who may have come from different reason. They do not belong to your state, but they are coming from different states. Their language is different, their accent is different. So what happens? We many times you don't want to make friendship with those people who are different from you. So, in this way, we start not only we are not making friendship with them, but many times we start hurting them also. We start making fun of their language. We start making fun of their religion also. Making fun of their color of the skin also. So these all things happens very naturally, and we don't understand that we are prejudiced against a particular person. Now, prejudice, we have understood what is prejudice. Now, these are related terms. Stereotypes. What is stereotype? Okay, creating stereotypes. All of us are familiar with gender differences. What does it mean to be a boy or a girl? Many of you would say we are born as boys and girls. It is a given. What is there to think about? Let us see if this is the case. So, we are going to understand this stereotype by gender differences. Gender, some are boys, some are girls. Okay, but what we find that there are different types of opinion of people regarding boys and girls. They think that if a person is a girl, then she should behave in a particular manner only, and if a person is a boy, then he should behave in a particular मतलब हर gender का there is a fixed role. Okay, and this is called stereotype. हमने उसको एक image में बांध दिया. We don't want a person who belongs to a particular gender to do the work of other gender. हर जेंडर का जो काम है, he or she has to do only work according to his or her gender. Okay, so this is the this is again a type of activity in this. uh, Arrange the statements given below in these two sections according to what you think is appropriate for the sections. There are two sections you can see here: girls and boys. Okay, and these are the statements which is given about either girl or boy. So you have to arrange these statements under particular section. Okay. They are well behaved. Often, these are the statements which uh, you must have heard these statements about yourself or about your siblings. So they are well behaved. It is often said about the girls that they are well behaved. Okay. Now they are soft spoken. This is a soft spoken and gentle. This is also said about the girls that they are usually soft and gentle, soft spoken and gentle. Now they are physically strong. It is told about the boys that they are usually physically strong. Okay. So this is about girls. They are soft spoken and gentle. This is also about girls. This is not true. It is the opinion of the society. Okay. They are physically strong. It is often told about the boys. They are naughty. Boys are also said, boys are only told about this. This is also told about boys that they are naughty. They are good at dance and painting. Who has the about whom we say like these things in society? It's about the girls. They don't cry. About whom we say that they don't cry? It is said about the boys. Many of you must have experienced this kind of a statement. When you cry, boys, when you cry, your parents or friends or relative, anyone may say, लड़का होके रोते हो. You must have heard this. कि boys don't cry. Okay. They are rowdy. This is also about boys. They are good at sport. This is also about boys. They are good at cooking. Obviously, this is about girls. And they are emotional. It's also about girls. So don't think that these are the opinions. Whatever opinions is expressed in this box are true about girls and boys. Actually, the society expect the boys and girls to behave according to its expectations, and these are the expectation of societies. It is expected from a girl that she should be well behaved. It is expected from the girl that she should be soft spoken. लड़की हो तो तुम्हें धीमी आवाज में बोलनी चाहिए. You should not scream. You should not talk in harsh words. So these are the expectation. It's not that all girls are soft spoken. There are many girls who are not soft spoken, who are not gentle. So this is not reality. This is only the expectation of the society. समाज, society आपसे क्या उम्मीद करता है? आप एक गर्ल है तो आपको कैसा बिहेवियर करना चाहिए? आप एक बॉय है तो आपको कैसा बिहेवियर करना चाहिए? So don't think that ये जो statements हमने लिखा हुआ है, these statements which are written here, these are correct. दीज आर नॉट करेक्ट। ओके, ये हमारी जो सोसाइटी है वो सोचती है इस तरह से, जबकि ऐसी बात सही में हो ये जरूरी नहीं है ना। तो कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि हर एवरी गर्ल आर गुड एट कुकिंग, एवरी गर्ल आर गुड एट डांसिंग एंड पेंटिंग, इट्स नॉट necessary, but this is the thinking of the society, this is the expectation of the society. Okay, now if we take the statement they don't cry, you will see that this is a quality that is generally associated with boys and men. Okay, boys don't cry, men don't cry. As babies or children, when boys fall and hurt themselves, their parents and other family members often console them by saying, don't cry, you are a boy. You are a boy. Boys are brave, they don't cry. So, this is the stereotype. अ, दोनों को चोट बराबर लगती है, बॉय को भी चोट लगी गिरने पर, गर्ल को भी चोट लगी, बट इट इज एक्सपेक्टेड फ्रॉम बॉय दैट दे शुड नॉट क्राई बिकॉज दे आर बॉय। ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है कि लड़कों को कम चोट लगती है, लड़कियों को ज्यादा चोट लगती है, बोथ हैव सेम फीलिंग्स अबाउट पेन, बट ये समाज है जो हमें हमारे साथ डिफरेंशिएशन करता है। ओके, as children grow up they start believing that boys do not cry, so that even if a boy feels like crying he stops himself from doing so. He also believes that crying is a sign of weakness, so even though both boys and girls sometimes want to cry, especially if they are angry or in pain. As they grow older, boys learn or teach themselves not to cry. If a grown boy cries, then he feels that others will either tease him or laugh at him. So he stops himself from doing so in front of others. So this is what a a small boy is being taught by his parents, by his relatives, by all the people who are in the society that boys don't cry. And because of this thinking, they also start believing that this is true, that boys don't cry. It is completely 100% true statement. And because of this thinking, they also start that no, I should not cry. If he feels like crying, still he cannot cry because it is made in his mind by the society that boys don't cry. It's not that only girls has the right to cry, boys can also cry, है ना। तो ये जो चीजें होती हैं ये सोसाइटी हम पे इम्पोज करता है, सोसाइटी हमसे यही उम्मीद करता है कि इफ यू आर अ बॉय देन यू शुड नॉट क्राई बिकॉज यू आर वेरी स्ट्रांग। नो, इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट। लड़के भी को भी रोने की जरूरत पड़ती है। मेनी टाइम्स तुम बच्चे हो, तुम्हारे अभी तो रोते होगे, बहुत सारी तरह तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं जिसको हम जब हैंडल नहीं कर पाते हैं तो हमें रोना आता है, या फिर कभी हम इमोशंस में बहुत इमोशनल हो जाते हैं तो हमें रोना आता है। तो इट इज वेरी नेचुरल फॉर अ ह्यूमन बीइंग टू क्राई। इसको हम ऐसे कैटेगराइज नहीं कर सकते हैं कि बॉयज हो तो नहीं रोना है और गर्ल्स हो तो रोना है। ठीक है, तो इससे क्या होता है, व्हाट हैपेंस दैट बॉयज स्टार्ट्स क्राइंग not in front of anybody. If they feel like crying, they don't cry, and they fear that no one should watch them crying. Because if someone watch them crying, that then what will happen? That they will make fun of him, that they will laugh at him, they will tease him. So this is the stereotype. We will continue this in the next class. For today, it's over.